What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we have a very anticipated video. Who is the better break unit, Firefly or Boothill? We just had Firefly's finalized kit on version 4, and she's looking pretty nice, but Boothill is not lacking either. So we're gonna go ahead and compare them head to head in today's video. So if you enjoyed this type of content, let me know by liking the video, leaving a comment in the comment section below, and consider subscribing to the channel. We're very close to 8K subs. I'd appreciate you if you hit the subscribe button for your boy. Without further ado, let's get right into it. So how I decided to do this was to take Firefly and Boothill and then throw them in the exact same scenario with the exact same team with almost the exact same stats, because obviously they have different traces that enhance different stats in each character. And then obviously the light cones are different in between classes. So for Firefly, we're going to run with the Fall of an Eon, and then for Boothill, we're going to run with the Herder Shop light cone, because he can take advantage of the crit. So we're going to go with the Herder Shop light cone, even though it's not the best. It's not really, it's not even his best free-to-play option. His best free-to-play option is actually a 3-star light cone that I played in my stream. So if you haven't checked that out, go check it out. But we're going to go with the Herder Shop light cone because it does give him a little bit of crit, a little bit of attack. It contributes a little bit to his damage. So we're going to go with that. The sets. So I'm going to go with what I believe to be each of them's best relic set. So for Firefly, it's going to be the new set that's going to come out with the new planar set that's going to come out. For Boothill, I believe to be the Thief set because of the energy regeneration on breaks, and the Talaki Never Banditry because you get extra break effect. However, Boothill cannot take full advantage of this set by himself. He needs Harmony Trailblazers to access the super break. So that's why I don't believe he can take full advantage of that set at all times. So this is his overall best set as of right now. So in the calculations, all we have as of right now is the calculations for the character's kit with the relic set and the light cone. Nothing else is added in there. So let's go ahead and take a look, a comparison. I put the both graphics down here, and just base kit, nothing added, only the light cone and their own kits. We have Boothill hitting for 139,000, not including super break because we do not have Harmony MC on the team. So this is just himself doing a enhanced basic that triggers a break into an extended break or an extra break, which is his trace. And then for Firefly, we have her doing, if she's hitting a single target at 75k, and then if she's hitting 3 targets, an aggregate damage of 167,000. And this again is excluding Harmony Trailblazers super break. Well, obviously you see the huge disparity between single target damage between Boothill and Firefly. Boothill is a hunt character, which they specialize in single target damage, and he does not disappoint there because he's almost twice as much damage as Firefly in the single target department. But when you add in multiple targets, when you add in 3 targets per se, obviously Firefly is going to be hitting all 3. She's going to be breaking all 3 regardless of their weakness. So she's going to hit for about 167,000 when it's 3 enemies. So right now off the bat, you can almost kind of tell where this video is going to go. Boothill is probably going to end up doing an extreme amount of single target damage, and Firefly doing a really high aggregate splash or blast damage. We're going to start adding teammates, and the first one we're going to add is going to be Ruan Mei. Ruan Mei is going to be the best friend of both of them. She gives them everything they need to do extra damage. She gives them break effect, she gives them speed, she gives them damage bonus, even though Firefly really doesn't need it. She gives them break efficiency, which is a huge key component for especially super break damage that Firefly takes a part of, and also with the addition of Harmony MC, we're going to take advantage of as well. To top it all off, she gives you some res pen. So I'm going to go ahead and add Ruan Mei into the list, and then we're going to go and check out what the damage numbers are. Adding on Ruan Mei, we see our boy Boothill hitting for about 179,000 damage. Again, we are not adding in super break because we don't have Harmony MC. So 178,000 damage, single target break, in enhanced basic into break into extra break. If we take away the extra break, it's going to be about 120 something thousand, which is still pretty good. Now for Firefly single target damage, 105k, which is nothing bad. Like 105k damage is not bad for a single target. Like, don't let it, like, just because Boothill's damage is like insanely absurd, don't scoff at the 105,000 damage of Firefly. And then when you hit the 3 enemies, you have 237,000 damage, especially if she's breaking 3 enemies. This is kind of like misleading because it's implying that we're breaking 3 enemies that have 480 toughness, which more than likely is not going to happen. The max you're going to break is around 2, and that's with the bugs, the swarm disaster bugs, both of them that have 480. So you can break both of them at the same time and get this similar amount of this. This is a little bit misleading, but at the same time, it's also misleading on the other direction because Firefly takes a lot of turns. So she can take 4 turns with speed boots, and that's kind of crazy. So imagine this hitting for 4 turns. That's about 1.2, 1.3 million damage that she's dealing in the span of her combustion. So that is really, really strong. Okay, the next teammate we're going to add obviously is going to be Harmony Trailblazer, and this is going to unlock most of our damage because of Super Break. Obviously, BOOTHILL and Firefly want to keep the enemies broken as much as possible until they kill them. And with Super Break, that's pretty much possible at all times. As soon as you break the enemy, they're not coming back from it, especially if you have Ruan Mei as well, triggering that extra delay. So let's go ahead and add Harmony Trailblazer on this fray and then see where the damage goes. Okay, so with Harmony MC added, we have access to the Super Break damage. Also, we're going to get about an extra 60% break effect on here. So we're sitting at about 250, which is a little bit too low. So we're going to add to each of our characters 50% break effect on subs because we had not added anything on subs. So let's go ahead and add 50% on both. And then let's go ahead and take a look at that damage, okay? All right, so if you have everything stacked up, you have the 3 stacks on your BOOTHILL, you have Ruan Mei up, you have Harmony Trailblazer with Super Break active, and you do his enhanced basic into a break trigger into both Super Break and extra Super Break, you're going to be slapping for about 430,000. However, the next time you hit, there's going to be about 91,000 damage less, so we can actually know exactly what that number is if we just swap this over. So without triggering the extra break, you're going to be slapping for about 339,000. And anybody who's played BOOTHILL in the past few days knows that this number is very, very accurate. Like, people hit this number pretty frequently with BOOTHILL. But we're assuming maximum damage, maximum play potential. So let's go ahead and leave the break damage in there. And let's take a look at our Firefly's damage. So Firefly, single target 147,000, which is nothing to scoff at because, again, Firefly goes a lot of turns. So with speed boots and a little bit of extra speed, she can hit speeds about 216 speed, which is a lot of speed. Comparatively to her combustion, which has 70 speed, you're going to be able to outspeed it 3 times plus the turn that you get when you first enter combustion. So you're going to be able to go up about 4 times. If you hit 474,000-ish about 4 times, that's about 1.6, 1.7 million in the duration of combustion, which is a lot of damage. So we have to keep that in mind because that's how Firefly works. Now, when we're talking about hitting 3 targets, we're hitting for about 333,000 or 334,000 damage, which is really, really respectable. Again, she is going multiple times a turn without any assistance from any support or whatever. Again, single target, if you want to just blast an enemy out of existence, you're going to throw in BOOTHILL on the team. And then if you just want to wipe the whole board, you can throw in Firefly. Because even if the enemy does survive, right? If the enemy does survive, actually, we have something wrong here. Because if we're hitting 3 targets, this has to be, I have to tweak the multiplier for this, so it'll actually be 140. So yeah, when we tweak the multiplier, her aggregate damage goes down to about 400,000, but it's still a lot of damage when you keep that into consideration. But we're going to put it back to 160 because we want to compare the single target damage like head to head, because we are comparing it to BOOTHILL, which is a single target fiend. So but most of the time, a lot of the enemies are not going to be alone unless you're dealing with a boss, or unless there's only 2 bosses and you kill one and then you get an extra boost on your Super Break. The damage is pretty high up there on both scenarios. They're both doing about 400 something thousand on optimal rotations, on optimal rotation damage or rotational damage. And then while we can also add a 12% vulnerability from like somebody like Gallagher, which Gallagher's going to benefit a lot from Firefly because of the fire weakness implantation. So you're going to be able to tag team them both, and then wherever you hit with Firefly, Gallagher's going to follow suit and hit as well, and he's going to hit pretty hard. So if we have everything together, we're sitting pretty good at about 405,000 here because we calculated the multiplier at 140, and then here a single target at 470. And if we were to calculate this one with the 140% multiplier, which is, let's say you're hitting 1 enemy out of 3, it's still around 400,000. Even if we bring it down to 120, it's still 424,000. So Boothill's single target damage is unrivaled. Like, it's just unrivaled. There's nobody that does more single target damage, and it's pretty apparent. Now, obviously, this is not everybody's optimal team. Well, I think this is going to be Firefly's optimal team. This is not Boothill's optimal team. His optimal team includes Bronya in there instead of either Gallagher or Harmony Trailblazer. The reason I say that is because the more turns Boothill can take, the easier it is for him to gain his stacks, and then the easier it is for him to go more times to hit the enemy, break it, and then finish it off. So generally, if the enemy just doesn't die in one hit with Boothill, it's going to die on 2 hits. Getting more turns for Boothill, be a speed or action advance like with Bronya, is going to be very, very beneficial, which we're obviously not taking into consideration right here, but it's also something that we have to take into consideration when we at least talk about it. Again, guys, this is not a simulation. This is not intended as a simulation numbers. This is merely a demonstration of how high can their numbers get, or their damage can get, given the optimal setting. Now, if you want my honest opinion, I like Boothill more, but that's because I like the design and the playstyle of Boothill a little bit more than I like the playstyle of Firefly. However, I do think Firefly will have more longevity because her fire weakness implantation is on her skill and not on her ultimate like Boothill. With Boothill, if you don't plan your ultimate uses effectively, you're essentially going to have a lot of turns where you're not going to be doing any damage, or you're going to be doing suboptimal damage. He can still put out decent damage if you're building with crit, so don't slack on that either. However, if you don't plan around your ultimates and putting that weakness where you need it, you're going to lose out on a lot of DPS. Frankly, Firefly is not going to have that issue ever, unless there's an enemy that just outright denies that, or just hides the break bar, which eventually is going to come. We all know it. Because of that, I think Firefly is going to be the premier character that is going to have more longevity if I were to choose between both. They are both going to be strong DPSs for a long time, because the whole game revolves around the break bar. Like, it is a core mechanic of the game. You have to always plan around breaking the enemy when it comes to playing this game. Like, it's just part of the game. That's why I think these two characters are really, really nice to invest in. For new players, these two characters are gold mines. They're like another Acheron per se. They're not as good as Acheron, obviously, but they are very valuable to free-to-play players or new players because they're very easy to build. One, you only need speed and break effect, and they have so much longevity. They'll help you in any content at all. My verdict, my conclusion when it comes to this debacle, this debate, just go for whichever one you like the most, because they're both incredibly strong. If you want my meta take, I think Firefly is going to end up being better than Boothill in the long run, but on release, I think they're very, very good at their role, and I don't think one can be put over the other as of right now. At least I don't think so. I have to try Firefly out myself, and we're not going to do that for another 3 weeks. But as of right now, that's going to be my verdict. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. That's going to be the end of the video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And until next time, guys, see ya.